Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I have for you today the SCT Sampler Kit unboxing and project video for the month of March 2021. And here is our kit, and it was so fun because there was a handful of sequins loose in this bag, which made it so fun to open. However, it was a little bit hard to tidy up, so keep that in mind when you get your kit. Sometimes you'll have surprises like that. So I got my kit tidied up and I put all of my lovely sequins, and those were from Close to My Heart, and I put them in a little leftover jar that I had. We have this acrylic word. You always get a word with your kit, and that is from the SCT company themselves. And then we get samples of products from other companies. So here is a sticker sheet from the Color Vibe collection by Simple Stories. We always get a nice reusable item in this kit, which makes the price totally worth it. And that is a stamp set from Concord and Ninth. Maybe it's exclusive because I did not see it listed on their website, or maybe it'll be released later, I'm not sure. And then this next collection is by Echo Park, and it's called Little Dreamer Girl, I believe. And so we get a partial package of ephemera, we get some journal cards, and a partial pack of sticker sheets, so that was fun. And then you always get about 6 papers from 2 different manufacturers. So these are the papers from the Little Dreamer Girl collection. Now this kit is very much themed towards little girls, but I'm going to show you how I use these pattern papers for an outdoorsy camping layout. So I always like to think outside of themes when I'm working on projects and show you what I do. So that's what we will be working on later. So stick with me to the end of the video. So again, that was the Echo Park of Little Dreamer Girl collection. And next up we have the, I'm going to get it wrong. I'll put links in the show notes for everything just so you know too, because sometimes I have a hard time remembering while I'm voicing over here. So Creative Memories, I believe. Creative Memories collection, which is a party line. And these little ephemera cut pieces are fun because they have some enamel glazed embossing to them. And as I tip them in the camera, you can kind of see the shine on them. So those were really fun pieces. I liked them a lot. And then we've got a journal card, a partial sticker pack, and then here are the pattern papers. Definitely very vibrant party colors, and yet there's a mix of that, some toned down navy color in there. So I thought that was a great party collection for making birthday cards. And that was my first thought when I started working on a project using this kit, but I ended up going a different direction, as I've already mentioned. So here is one final look at everything in the kit, and we'll go ahead and move on to the project. Now, I was going through my scrapbook photos and I found this collection of photos from a camping trip we took last October, and camping was one of the nice things that we felt we could do safely in the middle of a pandemic. Just like everybody, trying to find things to do and keep ourselves busy. So now, because this kit does come with only 6x6 pattern papers, and I am a 12x12 scrapbooker, I always find ways to make these pattern papers fit for my style. And one of those things is pulling in white cardstock and then using the pattern papers in pieces and strips and such. So I have cut down a whole bunch of 2" by 2" squares out of this pattern paper. And I did like 3 squares from each pattern paper, and that left me with some leftover pieces, and that's the leftover pieces there. So I'm going to put those pieces to use for making a journaling block with that striped paper, perfect for journaling, and then I'm going to make a title block with these other papers. And I chose 2 papers that had nice high contrast between them because I'm going to take that navy paper, and it has a bit of a star print on it, and I thought that worked perfectly for camping because we always sit in the dark at night and watch the stars. So even though this collection is themed around little girls, I find those motifs and those elements that really speak to the project that I'm making. So I did go ahead and cut 3 of these little scalloped borders, and I'm attaching them to both my title block pieces and my journal block pieces. Because I am making a double page layout, I like to have the elements tied across both pages, so that is where I went with that. And now I'm setting up my title, because that title block, I knew I wanted the words to be in the middle of 2 of these little scalloped element pieces. So I made my little element pieces the same on both sides, and I'm going to attach one to the top, and then we'll get to working on the rest of the titling. But it looks like here I've moved on to using those squares to edge my layouts. And I will go ahead and attach all those down on the far right page, and I will duplicate that on my double page on the other side. And that's one of these techniques for using smaller papers where you can pull those pieces of paper and take them all the way across your layout. So you can see the start of my title block going in there. So I put that at the top. I got my one word attached down that says fall, and then I used those letters to help me space out the rest of my title block and finished off my title. And now here you can see me bringing my pattern papers across to the other side of my page and just doing a border edge with these pattern papers. So this is a nice way to get a lot of color and pattern out of small pieces of paper. And you can do this with brand new pieces of paper, but it's a great way to use smaller pieces, 6x6 paper pads, or even scraps of paper that you have in your stash. Now I gave that photo a little bit more of a contrasty matte because it is going to overlap that border piece, and I wanted it to stand out just a little bit more. I'm taking more of these squares and kind of filling in an open area of my layout to give it a little more fullness. And then I will continue dressing up this layout as we go. Now this is more of a clean and simple style for me. And when I do that, I try to get all my borders around things even and tidy, because that helps the flow of a clean and simple layout. And so here I am filling in a little bit more space with my title block there, and I just took a strip of the green that I used to map my photo on the left, and again I'm pulling that element across to the right hand side of my page, and that helps kind of fill in my little title block so it's not so empty and lonely. And then I thought I was going to put some more of those 2x2 squares behind this photo as more of a photo mat, but I didn't like the spacing of it when we're talking about that white spacing, so I went ahead and tucked things under and above that photo because it had a lot of kind of bland skyline in the photo. I felt that was a good use of that kind of negative space on the photo to fill it in to fill it in with a few bits of pretty elements from this kit. And now because there were flowers and butterflies in this kit, those totally speak to being outdoors and enjoying outside. And some of the themes in this kit were about dreaming, which was fun because you go to sleep outside when you're camping. Well, okay, we don't, but the idea of going to sleep outside when you're camping definitely fits in with that dreamy theme. And there were also, yeah, see, here's that card that actually said Little Dreamer, and I was trying to figure out how to fit it on this page, and I didn't. But another element to this kit was more of the sunshine and clouds, and that was perfect because our trip had both of those things. We live in the Pacific Northwest, so we definitely had some sun and some rain and a little bit of both. So I took that journaling card and I'm cutting it apart just to use the elements that I want there. So I liked the little saying down at the bottom of the journal card, and I will incorporate that in my title block. And then I use the sunshine, and I fussy cut out that cloud that said happy. And put that into my journaling block. So I'm just building up elements from this kit that can work for this camping theme. And that is something that I really like to do, especially when you get a kit in the mail and you don't know what's going to be in there. Sometimes those things don't pertain to your life. Like I don't have little girls, and so I have big girls. And so I had to find another way to use these products, and instead of being discouraged, I got my creative juices going and thought about how I could really put these products to use in a different way. Okay, so while I was chatting, I have been adding some twine to this element. What I did here at the bottom was poked 2 holes across my layout, and I am going to create a banner. Now earlier you kind of saw me working with some stickers. There was a banner that came on that sticker sheet, and I kind of detacked them on the back of my skin. And then I'm just going to string this banner to try and get it to drape a little naturally, but because it's been in my stash for so long, it kind of had some kinks and bends in it. So I did my best to kind of get it to drape, and then I ran my banner stickers along the curve of the string, and I tied a knot where I'd poked holes through my layout and threaded it through and tied a knot. And I added string to other places, the tag at the top right of that layout here, and I'm adding more string here to an extra piece that I'm using around this kind of central photo that has all of us in it, so I wanted to bring a little more attention to that one photo, and so I added a little word strip that had a lovely saying on it. And then I'm just adding a few more bits and pieces around. So rainbows were part of this kit, perfect for being outdoors. There's a rainbow on the right-hand side of my layout, so I added a rainbow on the left. Now I really did try to find a way to incorporate that stamp set in our kit into this layout, and I just felt like it wasn't working, so I skipped that part. I did take some of those sequins and I will just sprinkle them literally on my page and then kind of scooch them around a tiny bit and glue them down as they fall for the most part. And I did add a few little sequins purposefully to the butterfly trail, but other than that, I glued them down mostly as they fell. So that calls it good for this layout. I will leave you with a couple of close-ups here as we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you got something helpful out of it, please do give me a like because that does help my channel. And if you want to see my future videos, go ahead and subscribe. I will be back later this week with a free cut file, and I will have 3 more videos for you next week. So join me again.